If you like cake, there's a new place in Cambridge that's serving up some small but delicious delights, and Andrew has the story.
Well, here on Grand River Living, we often show you food and art, but today it's food as art. It's Tiny Cakes in downtown Cambridge. Tiny Cakes is a relatively new addition to downtown Galt. Things are really happening down here. Tell us a little bit about what's happening around you before we actually talk about the shop itself.
It's been a bit of a renaissance down in the Cambridge area. We opened our shop December 11th, and we were lucky enough to share our grand opening with two other businesses. Gallery M, which is just a couple doors down, and she did this artwork for us. And Renew Medical Spa is right up above us. So a lot of new businesses coming, and we're thrilled to be where we are, and it's just great to be right in the downtown core and beside places like Salon Belize and Fight on Pens. It's a great little area that not too many people know about, so we're trying to get Cambridge on the map.
What's your own background? Have you come from a cooking background? Has cakes and decorating and pastries been a passion that you've turned into a profession? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
It's always been a passion. Just recently it became my full-time, I guess, job. I spent the last 8 years as a business development manager for a chemical company and decided that I didn't want to do that anymore, so I convinced my husband to quit our jobs and start Tiny Cakes, so here we are.
Now, I think I can guess what Tiny Cakes are, but what is your conception, what is your visualization, I guess, of what Tiny Cakes is?
We are a pastry boutique. You can come into Tiny Cakes and choose one of the pastries out of the case, be it a cupcake, a Danish, a croissant, or whatnot. And we also get into custom cakes. We do cakes that can be a simple birthday cake to something carved into the shape of a dolphin or whatever it is you're looking for. So basically, we take really good quality products to make the best tasting cake we can, and then make it look really awesome at the same time.
What are the range of sweets then that we could find when we come in? We've got different sizes of goodies, but we also have different flavors.
Our top 3 cupcakes are our chocolate peanut butter. So it's a chocolate cake with the peanut butter buttercream. And we do the buttered almond. It's a vanilla cake filled with an almond pastry cream, topped with the brown butter buttercream and almonds. And we get into crazy flavors, like today I did a pina colada cupcake that we're going to be putting out later. We do carrot cake cupcakes, blueberry, lemon. If you can think it, we can pretty much make it. And I dream about cake at night, so we're always coming up with new flavors.
The popular television programs that have this kind of cake decorating happening show some extremely elaborate cakes, beyond imagination. They're almost like they're computer-generated goodies. We can see them in your store here. Tell me a little bit about what goes into making some of these elaborate cakes and the kind of artistry that's needed.
A lot of time, a lot of time. That cake, for example, that Candy did up there, the Alice in Wonderland cake, she did that for a competition, and it took her 3 days to just hand paint all the artwork on the cake. And a lot of planning, because you have to make sure when you're building a cake, you build it in a certain way so it does have the right structures in place, so it doesn't collapse on you when you put the weight of the fondant on top of it.
Now, some people, and I apologize, I have to challenge you a little bit with this question. Some people say that cupcakes are going through a little bit of a backlash situation where they've gone through their popularity, they're a trend that's passed. How would you answer that accusation, I guess?
Cupcakes, I think, are going to be here for forever, really. I mean, you look crazy if you're walking down the street and you're eating a piece of cake. But if you eat a cupcake, you don't look insane, and it's the same thing. And I think with cupcakes, everybody wants to treat themselves, but you don't want to go out and buy a whole cake or something really big. So you can come in, and for a couple bucks you get a beautiful little treat that's custom wrapped, and it makes you smile. So I think they're going to be here.
It looks like it's a fun day here to be able to do this kind of work.
It's awesome. I get to come to work and make cake every day, so it's a lot of fun.
Well, there aren't many restaurant kitchens where you've got art supplies as part of the battery of materials that they use. I'm with Crystal Kostek here at Tiny Cakes. It's basically cooking, but then you've got all kinds of painting that you do. What do you do here at this station?
Right now, I am doing portraits on edible art. So I can paint portraits, faces. If you bring in a picture of yourself, you want yourself painted onto some edible.
Well, I prefer Marilyn Monroe, which is who you have right here, and that's going to be a sweet little painting. So someone brings in this portrait that they want, or any kind of a diagram, and then you put it on. Now this material right here is a...
Yep, that's fondant.
Which is?
Icing. It's
a thick,
pliable icing.
Okay. And what kind of materials do you use to put paint onto the icing?
It's an edible icing. It's just food coloring, and I water it down with rum, and and yeah, just use it like paint and paint her on there.
And how flexible can you be with that? If you make a mistake, you start all over again. Can you wipe it out?
No, I water it down with the rum, and then you can wipe it off pretty easy.
And then when you make a really bad mistake, then you just drink the rum, I guess.
Yes, and then you eat the little piece of sugar too.
Well, I'd be remiss in my duties if I came into a shop that has so much sweetness around it and didn't talk to somebody by the name of Candy. And joining me is Candy Kostick. What are your responsibilities here at Tiny Cakes?
I'm the artistic director. I take care of all the cakes, all the art.
Now, when we first look at this, my first impression would be that it was under some kind of a blanket, but it's not. In fact, this is the top of a dolphin, not a whale, a dolphin.
That's right.
So what are you going to do? What is this, and what are you going to do to clean this up?
I am going to squish all around the edges. We actually carve all the cakes. We don't use you can buy special pans, like you can buy a dolphin pan, but we carve everything.
How did you learn to do this? Is this something that you...
Completely self-taught. Yep.
So you're just tucking that under to try to tighten it up a little bit?
Yep, I'm just actually squishing the edges, and now I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and score.
Do you ever get just a little bit dizzy after a day of working here with all of the sugar that's in the air? And I'd start getting a little hypoglycemic, I think.
Yes. Oh, no, used to it now. So then we do that, and then I've edged the cake under, so there's room for me to push any of the extra fondant underneath, and that will give it a 3D effect. I'm going to put his eye in. You're going to airbrush some detail.
Well, I understand there's been a flipper sighting in downtown Galt. Whatever the cake you want, whatever the design, come to Tiny Cakes. They'll be able to craft one up for you. Lovely and sweet.